Hey everyone, welcome back. So I want to give my thoughts on the federal student aid. Some of the aid, they say, appears to still be frozen. Many nonprofits are still struggling to access these funds. However, not all aid is frozen, like direct loans and Pell Grants are not affected, and they're still continuing to disperse those aids to students. The issue began when they put a temporary funding hold on. This was January 27th, 2025. And because of this, a lot of people are seeing delays. They're even talking about some schools maybe facing potential closure. There are legit concerns about, the federal student aid, and it does provide access to higher education for millions of students who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it. However, I talked to a couple people and they think that it's just a total scam. But the system is in question, definitely, and there's definitely room for improvement, but I wouldn't call it a total scam. Here's a couple of reasons why I feel people are feeling that it's a scam. So for me, when it comes to certain fields, I feel like the colleges are taking advantage of people. For example, they would have you do a 4-year degree when really you can finish with a certificate that may take about 1 or 2 years to finish. Okay, that some of the classes that they have you take aren't even related to the field, such as English and art classes. And I say that because I had to take an art class and other classes I didn't need, or I felt wasn't related to my field, and I feel I didn't need to take those classes. Now, the art class, it was fun, but it was extremely expensive. Buying all the paint and the material for that class, and I also felt out of place because there were actually people in that class that were very talented. I remember the professor having us do an assignment where we had to do fruit, and we had to do the shadows of the fruit. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna go home, and I thought I was doing something. So I get back to class, and showed my picture in front of everybody because we had to show our pictures to everyone in the class, and I was put to shame. Okay, and this was supposed to be a beginner's art class, but it was a lot of fun though. However, I didn't need to take that class. And this raises concern for a lot of people taking classes you just don't need. But I want to go a little bit deeper into why people feel that it's a scam. But there are definitely cases where people do need to have extended or longer periods of education. They do need to go the whole 4 years or plus, depending on that field that they're in. So here's the issue. The rising cost of tuition. Some colleges and universities know that students will have access to these loans, and then they increase their prices, making higher education less affordable. And then you have student loan debts that have skyrocketed in the recent years. Many graduates are struggling to struggling to repay their student loans. Even people who've been out of school for years are still struggling, making it harder for them to buy houses or even, start families. So to an individual, this can feel like a scam, especially when the value of the degree doesn't seem to match the cost. It's just not a, good return on your investment. So example would be social work, education, fine arts, even culinary arts. How many of you, let me ask you this question. How many of you watching this video are making more than your teachers? Depending on how old you are watching this, you will probably in the future be making more than your teacher, right? Teachers are so underpaid despite all the training that's required for them in their profession. Sometimes a bachelor's degree, have to pass certain exams. So they may even go further to get more advanced degrees. And right now I see a lot of teachers wanting to quit. There's a shortage of teachers. They're burnt out, and most of them are in need of secondary income or jobs because the job that they have already is just not paying them enough. I'm sorry, I kind of got off on a rant with that, but another is for-profit colleges, some for-profit colleges have been accused of predatory type practices, targeting, vulnerable students with fake promises. Some have accused or have been accused of inflating their job placement rate by including graduates who are working in unrelated fields and who are employed part-time. And then another one is fake accreditation, leading students to believe that their degree will be more valuable than it actually is. Over exaggerating, salary expectations, making them believe they can make more than what the job market is. And here's the big one: transferable credits. Many students think that their credits will transfer over to other accredited institutions, and they find that this is not the case. There was a college here in my area that did this. They had a whole bunch of nurses go through the program, and the nurses, they thought that their degree was actually valid when it wasn't. They eventually ended up shutting that place down and turning into I think it's like an elementary school now. So in this case, if you were one of those nurses, you still and you took out a student loan, you are still required to pay those loans back, even though the degree isn't valid. It's so much tricky stuff that be going on inside these institutions, and a lot of people, I feel like, are just, they're fed up. They're fed up with it. And I used to think that I had to go to school, to get a degree in order to get a high-paying job. I went to school for biochemistry, but ended up doing something else outside of that. I actually ended up in IT, but I don't have a degree. I was like a few credits shy away from actually getting my degree in biochemistry. So I went from getting out of school or out of college and going into warehouse and manufacturing type jobs to learning IT, then later starting a business or multiple businesses. And I also did gig work while I was working a W-2 and running a business. My education and expertise come through certifications. I have no degree. I know people with master's degrees and PhDs, and they're nowhere near where I am. Some people just chase after titles to have something to show for on record. And of course, this isn't everyone, but a lot of people are chasing after this just for status, just to say they have multiple degrees. In no way do they know how to make money. They're struggling. Very, very smart individuals, but yet dumb. But what does it mean? I mean, does it mean anything in the end? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this. You guys take care, be safe, and I'll see you all in another video.